When you think UFC, what comes to mind? Action-packed fights, drama, maybe an unexpected knockout?
Yeah, exactly. The main event is usually what grabs attention, right? But this past weekend's event in Miami, the big buzz actually came from something happening ringside, not in the ring itself.
That's true. While the fighters were doing their thing, a single photograph stole the spotlight online.
It really did. We're talking about a photo that had everyone talking, and the main source for all this buzz comes from a detailed report in the Indian Express.
They really broke it down well. So let's set the stage here. The internet is obsessed with this snapshot. In the picture, you've got Elon Musk, the tech mogul.
And right next to him, his son, Zasha, proudly holding a UFC championship belt. He looks pretty thrilled about it, too.
Yeah, holding the belt is the key visual here. That's what people are really focused on.
And then sitting right there with them, former President Donald Trump.
And here's the kicker. It wasn't just a random fan shot. This was actually shared by the official White House account. That adds a whole different level of significance, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The White House itself sharing this photo is a big deal. What was the caption again?
Simple, but it sticks. Elon Musk and the undisputed champion, Little X.
Little X. That's catchy, isn't it? Definitely something people will remember. The piece from Indian Express came out on April 15th, 2025, so it's very current.
Yeah, perfect timing. But what's really intriguing when you dive into the report is the people who were sitting nearby. It wasn't just Musk, his son, and Trump in isolation.
Oh, really? Who else was there?
Well, you had quite the lineup around Trump. FBI Director Kash Patel, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Intelligence Chief Tulsi Gabbard, even Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with his wife, actress Cheryl Hines.
Wow, that's a serious concentration of political power right there. This wasn't just a casual night out at the fights.
No way. It almost feels orchestrated, like this specific group was brought together at this specific event for a reason.
It does raise some interesting questions. What does it mean for tech billionaires, former presidents, and current political figures to all be seen together at a UFC event? What kind of message does that send?
That's the million-dollar question. I think it signals a blending of spheres, tech, politics, and entertainment. These worlds aren't separate anymore. They're all overlapping.
Exactly. They're occupying the same social space, and having them all seen together could really shape public perceptions in ways we haven't seen before.
And Musk definitely leaned into this. He didn't shy away from the spotlight, did he?
Not at all. He reposted that White House photo on April 14th. His caption was, "Just such a great night." Pretty enthusiastic.
That's classic Musk, keeping it simple but impactful. And, just that repost alone probably pushed the view count through the roof.
Definitely. In fact, the Indian Express article noted that the original White House post got over 50 million views.
50 million views for one photo? That's insane.
It is. That tells you something about how powerful those figures are in our current media landscape. The internet couldn't get enough of that moment.
And of course, the internet had a lot to say about it. Did the article mention any of the reactions?
Oh, yeah. Some of them were pretty funny. One person commented, "Bro, secure the belt before the driver's license."
That's a good one. It captures the funny contrast, this little kid holding this massive, iconic symbol of achievement. It's pure internet gold.
Exactly. Any other comments that stood out?
One comment said, "That's awesome. Imagine having people in government that do good things and also have fun."
That's interesting. It taps into this desire for politicians to seem more human, relatable, less stiff,
Right? People want to see that politicians can actually enjoy life too, that they're not all about the work 24/7.
And then there was a more sentimental take. Someone mentioned that Musk was creating lasting memories for his son, which when you think about it is kind of heartwarming.
Yeah, that adds a nice layer to it. In the midst of all the political and power dynamics, it's still a dad and his kid having a moment.
Exactly. It humanizes the whole thing. But stepping back, looking at the photo and the reactions, it really does feel like a snapshot of how different worlds are colliding now.
Tech, business, politics, and entertainment like the UFC, they're not in separate boxes anymore. This picture is almost like Exhibit A.
And wasn't there another viral moment from that night? I think Indian Express mentioned something else that caught attention.
Oh, right. President Trump's entrance was a big deal, too. He walked in grooving to a Kid Rock song.
So the whole event was kind of a cultural moment, not just a fight night.
Exactly. It wasn't just about the UFC. It was this blending of political power, entertainment, and even celebrity culture. Kid Rock blasting as Trump enters. It all adds to this vibe of politics meeting entertainment in a big way.
And when you put that together with the White House sharing the photo of Musk, his son, and Trump with the belt, it really makes you think.
It does. And it brings us to the big question. What does this photo really tell us about how influence works now? Is it just a fun moment, or is there something deeper at play here?
That's the core question. It could be just a snapshot, but then again, maybe it's a new form of political communication, using cultural moments to connect with the public, especially through figures outside the traditional political realm.
That's a fascinating thought. It might be the new normal for how political figures engage with culture, using these non-traditional figures to make an impact.
Definitely something to chew on long after we wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the chat.
Anytime.